And God is not going to force a new you on you. He's calling you into a new life. But we have to stand up and follow Him into it. Tell me if this sounds familiar. You've been going to church for a while. You're reading your daily Bible plan. You're trying your best to be a good person. And you're just not growing. Well, the good news for you is that this is really common. You're not alone in that. Probably everybody who's been a Christian for any significant period of time has felt this kind of plateauing or this leveling off where you're just not moving forward. I've been there. Probably everyone watching this video has either been there or maybe you are there right now. And I've got more good news for you, because I can tell you why this is such a common thing. Why so many of us feel like, well, yeah, we're going to church and we're trying to read our Bibles and we're trying to be good people, but we're just not making progress, growing as people, growing in our faith, growing in our relationship to God. I can tell you why this is such a common experience. And this is because we don't think of spiritual growth, of growth in our Christian faith, the way we think of other growth. When we think of improving any other skill, if you think about improving your skill in a sport, or in an art form, or in music, or at a game, or at some kind of craft or something like that, when you think of improving in those things and growing in those things, we don't view them at all like we view growing in spirituality, growing in our Christian faith. So let's say you want to get better at guitar. This is a really, really common one, especially in Christianity, because we see a worship leader doing some cool stuff with guitar and we want to do it too. That's where I started with guitar as well. So let's say you want to start playing guitar and you get a hold of a guitar and you're going to have to start practicing, right? You're going to have to start playing guitar over and over and over again. Probably every day you're going to be playing guitar and you're going to be really bad at first. I can remember back when I was 14 or 15 years old and I was just picking up guitar for the first time, and I had this one little song that I knew how to play, and I would just play it over and over and over and over and over again. And it was nice at first to everyone else. It was like, oh, Nate can play this little ditty. But after a couple weeks of me playing the same song and practicing over and over and over and over again, all of my brothers, my sister, my family hated that song, and they hated it when I played guitar. They'd send me off to some far, remote room in the house to play alone. But if you want to get good at guitar, you're going to do that, right? You're going to play over and over and over again. You're going to practice every single day. And if you really want to get good, you've got to even go beyond that, right? And if you really, really want to get better, you're going to start looking up YouTube videos on how to play guitar. You're going to buy a book about it. You're going to find a guitar teacher to give you assignments and to tell you what to do and to help look at what you're doing, to see what you're doing wrong and what you're doing right, and help you along the path. And you're going to practice, and you're going to practice and practice every single day until that lack of skill becomes some moderate level of skill. And if you really want to master the instrument, you're going to work even harder than that, every single day practicing and working until you're able to master it. Now, this is common sense to us, right? Everybody understands that if you want to get good at something, you're going to have to work at it. You're going to have to work hard at it. There's nobody in the world who would tell you, oh, you want to get good at guitar? Hey, listen, just buy a guitar, and I want you to set it in your room, and I want you to visit your guitar once a week and look at it. Maybe you can touch it and pat it and strum the strings a little bit, but just once a week, maybe twice a week, take a look at your guitar, look at it, and over a period of months and years, you'll absorb somehow ability at guitar. You'll just be good. Maybe a decade from now, maybe 20 years from now, you'll become a good guitar player. Just wait, it'll just kind of happen by itself. No, if you want to get better, you do the work, right? You do the work. If you want to get better at painting, you're going to paint. You're going to paint a lot. You're going to research how to paint well. You're going to keep working at it until you improve. If you want to get better at Call of Duty, you're going to play and you're going to play and you're going to watch really good players and you're going to go until you start getting better. If you want to become a great woodworker, you're going to have to find somebody who is a great woodworker to teach you, and you're going to practice and keep working at it. This is the way all skills work. This is the way all growth works. And once again, we understand this. This is common sense. Nobody would tell you that just by wishing, just by hoping, that you'll grow in something that you just magically will. And here's the big issue. is that we don't view growth in our Christian walk like we view growth of any other kind. We don't view it as something that we have to work at and put energy and effort and focus towards. We view it as this vague, ethereal, magical kind of thing, where slowly, if we go to church once a week, and if we read our Bible here and there, and if we hope that we can grow closer to God, that somehow we'll just snap into maturity and into growth, and the things that we've struggled with for 10, 20, 30 years will just go away. And the traps that we always fall into will just disappear. And the temptations that we trip over again and again and again, that those will just magically stop being an issue for us. And see, the problem, of course, is that this is totally and completely unrealistic. In no other area of life, the life that God has created for us, by the way, God created the order of things. He created the way this works. In no other area of life can we grow without intensity and focus and priority on those things. You've got to actually do it again and again and again. And if it's something that's important to you, you're going to work hard. You're going to work really hard until you actually grow in that thing. So my question to us is, why in the world would we think our spiritual well-being, the formation of our personality, our relationship with God would be any different? There's a Bible scholar named Dallas Willard who put a lot of his energy and effort of study into the concept of how to grow as a Christian, how to grow in our faith. And he put it like this: a baseball player who expects to excel in the game without adequate exercise in his body is no more ridiculous than the Christian who hopes to be able to act in the manner of Christ when put to the test without the appropriate exercise in godly living. Dallas Willard said that in his book called The Spirit of the Disciplines, which I really recommend to you guys. It's fantastic, and it really gives an incredible perspective on how to grow in the Christian walk. But I think he really gets it there. When you think about people in this life who have absolutely mastered a skill, well, then you're thinking about people who have put in a crazy amount of work. You think about Michael Jordan, for instance. Everybody knows Michael Jordan. This is a guy who gave his life's passion was becoming the best at a game, right? But he put the kind of intensity and focus and priority and effort into it that every single one of us can and should learn from. Because with the Christian walk and our relationship with God, is that not so much more important than a game? Is our relationship with God, is our growth in our Christian walk, is overcoming and allowing God to lead us past those temptations and struggles we've been stuck in, is that not so much more important than anything else we could put our focus or energy or priority on? And of course the answer is yes, it's so much more important. These are our lives we're talking about. This is our God we're talking about. Is that not worthy of all of the energy and effort and focus that we could put into it? See, this is why we have so many people in the church who have been attending church for 10, 20, 30, 40 years, and they're still struggling with the exact same stuff they were struggling with when they walked in the door. Because we have this picture of spiritual growth like it's just going to happen somehow via absorption or osmosis, or something is going to click and you're just going to become a different person one day. But that's not how God created us. He created us to respond to His call and to stand up and follow Him into new life. C.S. Lewis said that God is a gentleman and He doesn't force Himself upon others. And God is not going to force a new you on you. He's calling you into a new life. But we have to stand up and follow Him into it. And that's going to take effort, and it's going to take work, and it's going to take focus, and it's going to take sacrifice. But it's worth it. And here's how you can do it in your life starting today. There's a lot of different things that are extremely important that as Christians we incorporate into our daily existence for moving forward and growing and getting closer to God. Things like taking in truth via the Bible or books or podcasts or whatever else. Things like being connected with a community of people who have gone farther than you have and will hold you accountable and encourage you. Things like spending time with God on a consistent basis. See, all of those things are so incredibly important that I want to make a video for each one of those things later on. But for right now, the single most important thing that you can take away from this video is this. Get serious about your Christian faith. Get serious about your growth. Get serious about your relationship with God. And when I say getting serious about your growth, I'm talking about making it a priority in your life, not just some vague thing in the background, but a priority. I'm talking about scheduling into your day, into your week, these times in which you are focusing on growing you and growing your relationship with God and overcoming these things with God's grace and help that you've been struggling with for so long. I'm talking about getting serious about it. See, for me, that looked like having to make a commitment that before I did any work each day, that I would spend concentrated, focused, alone time with God first, processing through the things that are happening in my life, praying through them with God. For me, that looked like having to commit to the moment my kids go to bed, instead of relaxing, opening up a book that is going to inspire me and move me forward in my walk with God and processing that out with God. For me, that looked like committing to connect with my wife and read a book that's going to help us to be better in our parenting and better in our marriage and better as we follow God together. That's what it looked like for me. I had to get serious about it. I had to make it a priority. I had to put my money where my mouth is. And I'm encouraging you guys to do the same thing, because the effects in my life, since I've gotten serious about my growth, are absolutely night and day. I've seen movement in a forward direction. I've seen things that have held on to me for so long loosen their grip, and I've been able to leave them. That's what I've been able to see, and I've seen God's grace work in my life like I've never seen it before. So I want to encourage you guys to get serious about your faith, to get serious about your growth. Because of anything in this world that is worth putting in the effort for, it's your walk with God. Thanks so much for watching the video, guys. As always, if you're not subscribed, go ahead and subscribe right now. We're gonna have more and more videos of this type coming out in the future, so keep an eye on that. Hit the bell so you receive notifications when we have new ones coming out. Like the video if you would, share the video with someone who you think might need to hear this message if you would. Once again, we don't want to take truth that affects us and just keep it in our hearts. We want to take truth in, but then we want to share it with the world around us when we find that it moves us. So if you have been moved or affected or challenged or encouraged by this video, please share it, please like it, and spread the word about this channel and the videos we've got going on here. As always, you guys, God bless.